Ladies and gentlemen, we have our final game of the day. The producer is not pleased with your hair. I think it's wonderful.
I think your hair is wonderful as well, Obi.
Thank you. What is left of it is indeed wonderful.
You've got much better facial hair than I do,
Okay.
so you have me beat in one area.
All right, let's see if CDEC and TongFu have some good Dota ready for us, guys. This will be the final game of the day. It may not be the final game of the tiebreakers, though. Should TongFu win this game, we have another three-way tie, and we do the whole thing all over again tomorrow at 20 China time. Or no, 14 China time.
Hey.
But that's a bridge we'll cross and burn if we get to it. For now, first pick gods. It went the way of CDEC. They will pick the Bat Rider. TongFu respecting maybe here quite heavily, banning his Naga, banning his Troll. Then they snap up the Venge and the Wisp. CDEC banning the Spin Lords and then picking up the Earthshaker. They now remove two of the Wisp partners to some extent. Mostly the Bristle, a little bit with the Slark. They'll go into a Morphling here. The Morphling Wisp, not something we've seen much of as of late. I guess there's no chance of the support Morphling, but
Morphling?
Winter currently snoozing, probably secretly dreaming of it.
Look, I'm a believer. I played a few pub games with Winter last night, and I'm all aboard the Morphling.
Didn't you guys lose all your games, you said?
We lost 100 MMR.
Okay.
And that's not combined.
We finished our broadcast at like 10 a.m. local time.
Yep, we lost 100 MMR each.
In like 2 hours.
Yep, we played 3 games. Each one lasted about 30 minutes.
How many off-lane Morphling games did you have?
2.
Okay.
So, minus 40, minus 40, minus 33. But the off-lane Morphling was legit still, you know? It happens. You have those minus 100 MMR days. Well, minus 100 MMR 2-hour periods.
You know, Winter did say, though, he's smart. He's not going to play solo queue while he's here. Only rank queue. Well, or team queue, rather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay away from solo queue in US West. Viper now the pick from TongFu.
Yeah,
So.
the TongFu, this is the bringer of annoyances, this hero. Great against like Skywrath, Earthshaker, Bat Rider. We've got a little magic immunity, which is pretty much all those 3 heroes have as far as damage output goes.
Yeah, I imagine CDEC will get some physical damage moving forward in this draft, but what form will it take? Maybe is Ember Spirit out there? They don't really have much lockdown for Ember.
No one's picking Shadow Fiend, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's not that bad against a Viper. I feel Viper does pretty good at like level 1, level 2, but once give Shadow Fiend some support. I guess you're worried about like a Wisp dual lane, but...
Yeah, Morphling Wisp mid, but you could just put the Earthshaker or Skywrath there early to protect the Shadow Fiend, so I would agree. I don't think it's bad by any means.
I think it's one of maybe's better heroes, the Shadow Fiend, but we'll see what he goes for.
What else could they go for here?
The Storm's quite nice. If they go Storm, they then need like a hard carry for the safe lane. Medusa's another pick we're seeing quite a bit of. Especially here, you can just chuck in the mid lane, know it's not going to get ganked, and...
Medusa would be good. Medusa would be the safe, kind of boring pick, but hey, it's not about having fun. It's about winning. And Morphling Wisp are not killing this. Viper is not killing this, barring a horrible overextension. Yeah. And it gives you strong late game. That is for sure.
So probably like a lot. I feel like you need to ban out the Nyx Assassin against, like, Nyx great against Bat and Medusa. Not bad against like the Sky Earthshaker. And
yeah, they want someone who's more of a tempo controller. So I mean, the other main mono burn candidate would be like an Invoker, but maybe a Beastmaster, I suppose. But Nyx is the more direct way to deal with Medusa.
They need an initiator at the same. Like they have no way to initiate a fight here. So Nyx needs to farm a Blink Dagger, but at least can do so once you have the Blink.
Yeah, and also good against Bat. That's the other big thing. So I would agree. The Nyx ban, very advisable for CDEC. As for TongFu, they'll want to ban, I feel like, another secondary kind of carry. You've already got Earthshaker Bat. You've got a lot of initiation. Maybe even like a Magnus type hero. Though I don't know how they would lane it.
Most people are doing Medusa mid. I say most, not all. Some will do it safe lane. Shadow Fiend's still viable for CDEC if they want to go for like a true dual core lineup. They're probably also worried about TongFu's kind of... Well, I guess they see... Sorry, I guess they see TongFu's last pick first, but if TongFu go for like some kind of cheesy push strat with their last pick, obviously right now it doesn't look like a push strat, but you get one hero that can just kind of man up in the front lines and bring down towers, something like, Bristleback, which is now banned out, and they could easily look to just siege.
They banned the Brew, so they are expecting a much more 4 Protect 1 style of draft from CDEC. There's the dual core option you mentioned.
5 seconds remain.
I mean, do you even think they could squeeze into Drow here, potentially?
For TongFu?
For CDEC.
For CDEC?
Maybe not now with this Clockwork pick.
Yeah, less so, but it's doable. I mean, I haven't seen them actually run the Drow until last game with a Visage, so I feel like it's something they just picked up exclusively for the Drow Visage duo.
Alright, so they get the maybe Ember? No, aggressive Ember. Oh, okay. So...
Not the play hero combo expected.
Kind of an LGD type of finisher here. Like, not many teams... also, HGT. The two teams that are occasionally running the side lane Ember. With maybe handling this Medusa, it's quite likely he'll be going mid.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll see what the plan's going to be here. CDEC, I think the Ember's kind of like your safe laner in some ways, just because he's just a bit more durable in the mid lane, is not at all prone to ganks. And Ember, you kind of guarantee that 10 to 15 minute tempo control by giving him safe lane farm, and yeah.
I mean, I mentioned Ember as a possibility in the draft. We didn't really talk about it, but then I'm like, oh wait, but then you're laning against a Viper, or maybe a Morphling Wisp. That's not the easiest lane. But if they run him safe lane, they don't have to worry about that weaker laning stage. And then in the mid game, TongFu have 0 lockdown for him. So it really is a good Ember game and matches up well against Wisp. Cleave can really shut down even a farm Morphling, ignoring the armor of the hero. So I think this Ember pick actually could work out quite well. And it kind of gives them that nice mix. Like, they wanted a little bit more lockdown, but they also wanted some late game scaling potential, and synergizes quite well on top of that with Stone Gaze. So I actually feel, the more that I look at it, this Ember pick really fits the CDEC draft.
Yeah, and TongFu, I think, knowing the Ember is not going to go mid, it's just too risky if you get that matchup versus Viper. Going to send the Viper to the safe lane, it looks like, send the Morphling mid for XinQ. So we'll actually introduce some lanes. So on the TongFu side, it's going to be the off-lane Clockwork for Kian. In the mid lane, it is going to be the Morphling for XinQ. He's been probably one of the more impressive players of this TongFu team. Down bottom, we've got the Wisp of LPC laning with Kabu on the Vengeful Spirit. And finally, U9 on the Viper for TongFu.
All right, as for CDEC, we're going to have Q playing the support Scarith Mage. Aggressive. He was very successful on that Batrider last time around. He'll be handling the Ember this time, maybe. He'll be playing your Medusa, and then going to the bottom side of the map, Garter on the Earthshaker, and the coach will take up more of a utility role, as he this time will handle the Batman.
He's going to have a great time in this offlane. They've blocked off the pull camp, and he's got the fissure block going, so he's going to guarantee himself a fast level 2. And once you get level 2 on Bat, easy jungle if you really want to. So for Bat, we should be looking at a pretty good time in the offlane. Even if he gives up a kill, makes a mistake here or there, there's a good chance he's still going to have like a 12-13 minute Blink Dagger.
Well, for now, running the Wisp off in the woods, we're going to see if she tries to go for a D-ward here. Just has the bottle early on, so just some basic stacking. And our mid lane, Morphling versus Medusa. Should be easy for maybe, even against the dual lane. There's really not too much those two heroes can do to Medusa, unless they get a really good rune.
Yeah, I think Medusa should have a pretty decent time here.
So in the meantime, mid lane, we're going to have a jump in. XinQ going on to maybe. He actually is fairly low here. Still has the mana sugar. Can they actually get the kill? The fissure. Oh no, they've overextended. Whoa. They give up the first kill. They do get the counter kill, but maybe getting the first blood. I guess a okay trade for TongFu, as the Morphling will collect quite a bit of experience. Already level 3.
Okay, Medusa going to be perfectly happy with that exchange.
Yeah, that's that. I almost say an even trade. Like a little bit more gold for Medusa, but Morphling getting a lot of levels in the dual lane very early on.
Yeah, so we'll see what the next move is going to be. I feel like that's not the play that TongFu were hoping for with their Wisp. Wisp now going to look to swing towards the top lane. I feel like Clockwork's here, you just want to be giving the solo XP. I'm not sure if you really want to be dedicating a support update to help secure it. So.
I think he's checking the top rune.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't really know what the Wisp will do top.
He hasn't been stacking as well. Like, even moving towards the mid lane to go for that kill, he walked past, like, a big camp, like, right before the stack time and decided not to stack, so...
that's cheeky. Denies the bounty rune. Have they even broken down the trees, actually? For the stacks on the Radiant side?
On the Radiant side, no. They're still standing.
They're going to now move on top lane, but rotating in is your Skywrath Mage. They have to be careful about going aggressive. This Skywrath Ember Spirit combo, it's very easy to kill the Wisp if you just get off that silence and the chains.
Maybe just 2 points in the mana shield, maybe enough to save his life here, as he doesn't have a second waveform on Morphling. And
again, the fissures. Garter has just been in the perfect place and at the right time, and at the same time, Batrider, he's off in the jungle doing quite a bit of stacking and looking to get that early Blink Dagger. Only 3 CS thus far, but he'll be looking to clear out his big stack fairly soon, I imagine. So, yeah, about to finish it off. He'll be on a good pace, and now Medusa gets the bottle. Just got the gold for it, so any sort of tower dive can easily be punished just by timely bottle sips, and With the Earthshaker fissure blocks having been in place twice, it really has to discourage TongFu from even trying for those tower dives.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of TongFu right now, they're going to be all about that, fighting CDEC in that kind of, before Medusa comes online. They're running a safe lane Viper. Viper kind of generally picked for his lane dominance, but putting him in the safe lane, and at this point, he's not going to be up against anyone in the lane. Batrider likely just to continue to jungle, he's going to get the best farm there, so you're running Viper as a lane dominator, and he's not really against any hero in lane, which you're not really getting the most out of the hero, so they've got to make up for that come 10 to 15 minute mark when he gets that free farm mech up, when he can actually push with his team and look to be a big threat and create space for the morph lane.
But he's got 12 denies on the empty lane.
Well,
he's padding his stats nicely if they actually do manage to advance. Yeah, it's ultimately you run a safe laner who doesn't really use farm that well, and you're trading. You're happy if you're CDEC and the one's getting that better of that trade.
I guess it's a
Top
slight
rune though. We will have a clash here on LPC. Mikasa on the chase.
Okay.
But this is I don't. Are they diving for this?
No, Tao's
Casual 5 heroes top.
Yeah,
they literally send 4 heroes down the river for the Wisp.
okay.
Well, and now the Viper's getting some value. That was funny.
Yeah, Viper, it's still okay. I feel like the Ember Spirit's a similar thing, where Ember Spirit also not really a carry. You can do a bit more with farm. Well, I don't know. You can make arguments for Viper versus Ember Spirit both doing well with farm, but both teams are running like their tempo control in the safe lane and then their carry in the mid lane. So we'll have to see like whose safe lane tempo control is going to come online first. And I'd say generally Ember Spirit's more about the levels, whereas Viper it's more about the mech. So it's kind of just two different styles of tempo controllers.
Especially with the Wisp, the mech can be a real game changer. Maybe now with the double damage rune picked up. And CS-wise, comparing farm, the two mid laners, we have a bit of a lead for the Morph lane, but Batrider getting overall much more. Actually, no, the Clockwork doing quite well. 18 CS already. That's very impressive. He has had a little bit of help from Wisp and from Venge, but
surprisingly
still, it's
high.
a Clockwork.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
He's going to get going on here, but he's got a lot of backup. 2 heroes nearby.
They might actually turn this if they jump on him, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's an off-lane clock. You don't really want to commit too much to killing him.
TongFu were hoping that he would go on him, but not the case, so.
For CDEC, of course, the most crucial item will be the Batrider Blink. That's what they're farming towards. Ember getting phased drums, just utility likely to be the pickup for him, and then you look to go around setting up some kills. Coach, only level 4. At 6 minutes in, has already cleared out the stack. He may just actually go into the bottom lane. Seen the Vipers alone. These heroes have been off the map for a while. Now going to converge on the top rune. 4 heroes streaming in from TongFu. And just wanting that 6-minute rune. So
yeah,
the bottom rune will be uncontested.
TongFu have much better control of this, and this is definitely one of the... A lot of people kind of talk about the Radiant versus Dire advantage. This top rune being such a focal point for early clashes is one of the big areas where Radiant do have an advantage, because bringing in your offlaner is kind of generally more high impact than bringing in a support hero. So that's where the Radiant do have an advantage, because the mid laners always want to go for the top rune. It's closer, as the Radiant side has a good vision advantage, and that's where bringing in an offlaner, you often see the Radiant team getting kills early on around that top rune. Yeah,
it's really nice having the 2 ramps as well, so they can approach it and get, like you said, the better vision from multiple angles. And they also have to spend less time walking down the river if they don't come from down the river, if they come from like where the secret shop is or the ancient. So Radiant, it's actually true for both runes where they have these really nice ramps to access it.
Yep.
So Viper just having the empty lane, he's chilling.
Yeah, Batrider came down there for a few seconds and had enough quickly. We'll have some sacks to fall back on. I think because the Batrider Blink is almost, in some ways, more important than like having the getting the Ember Spirit to do well in the mid game is going to be very dependent on the Batrider Blink initiations. It feels like, so they're happy to give Viper a bit more farm as long as Batrider's getting a lot out of the jungle.
Haste Rune bottled for maybe. Now, generally we don't think of Medusa as a ganker, and she's certainly not by nature, but Mushi did make a really nice rotation on Medusa on one of his group stage games in day 1, and you have to be careful about overextending. Mystic Snake's a pretty solid early game nuke.
Yeah, Morphling taking a lot of damage here at mid, and even when the bottle comes back, Xingqiu doesn't really have the ability to stay in the lane. He's going to get a replicate
Actually
out.
Diving mid lane, it looks like, going in for the next Mystic Snake. There is a replicate up as mentioned, but no mana to use it, forces out the TP.
Yeah.
And now maybe they try to go in somewhere else. I'm not sure if they actually scouted that TP, but now they do see the Venge.
The replicate just so he can replicate back in after healing up, but right now he's not even going to get full HP by the time the replicate expires.
That's just good mid lane play though by maybe. Even though you don't get a kill there, you force the Morphling back to base, and Now you can apply pressure elsewhere, which will be bottom lane, and it leads to this kill in LPC, making it nice and easy. Lasso used, Mikasa, not the one getting the kill, but he's getting more experience in gold from the assist. 1,400 gold in the bank. Blink Dagger should have it by like 10, 11 minutes, it looks like.
Yeah, that was just a nice move in general. Realizing that TongFu constantly putting a lot of heroes around that top rune every kind of 2 minutes to control it, but bottom rune was a very kind of weak point for TongFu. Just the Wisp going for the rune and he gets punished.
Ember and Viper continue to trade farm. Is Viper going for the early mech? Yeah, picks up the buckler. Okay, so not going to complete treads, just go straight into the mech, and
he's got it in 300 gold too. If he gets this tower, he's there, and I don't know if this is really a tower CDEC can defend. Not without someone like an Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit's TPX don't cooldown, so he must have used a Fire Remnant at home to
the tower's in critical range, and of Nether Toxin, it does half bonus damage to these towers when they get low, so...
Yeah. Garda will look for a deny, but it's very unlikely, and he doesn't want to die here, so...
I think he just has mana for a Fissure now, but it's difficult. And Viper getting the last hit, that'll be a nice little shot in the arm here for TongFu. Phase boots up on Medusa. I mean, haven't been stacking Ancients yet for maybe. Something they'll... Or the Ember, something they can look to do a bit later on.
Feels like TongFu looking pretty good, just out farming in general, but CX Line just doesn't really come online yet. The Batrider Blink, the Ember Spirit, he's got phase 1 now with his his bracer. Sometimes you see the drum, sometimes just a casual bracer, but this hero gets strong around now. He's got the Max Flame Guard, 2 points in the Searing Chains, and can become that kind of big, imposing threat to TongFu now.
So, how do you feel looking towards the mid game? TongFu are going to have the mech. Outside of that, their team fight is a little bit awkward. Like, they have a hookshot, but it's hookshot into what? There's really there's no Mystic Flare, there's no, like, Finger of Death. No reliable follow-up to that, I would say. On the other side, you have a CDEC where you're running a dual core, but you have slightly better initiation in the form of the Batrider as well as the Earthshaker. Both teams are pretty good late game. TongFu a little more about the split push, CDEC a little more about the 5-man. Who do you favor overall, and what do you see as the game plans for each team?
I think the mid-game Clockwork is going to be more about, rather than being like a long-range initiator with a little follow-up, it's just going to be played like kind of more like a Brewmaster, where it's to help secure the push. If you're sieging a tower, it's that threat of a hookshot keeping heroes away. So he's not going to go for these like max-range hookshots to start a fight. He's just going to be standing there to kind of scare off CDEC, because heroes like Medusa he doesn't want to go on, heroes like Ember Spirit he can't kill because of the Fire Remnant out. In general, he's just going to be like a big threat, and try and be a counter-initiator. If Batrider goes in, you use that hookshot to try and hit the bat or hit one of the supports and catch him out. Similarly, I feel like CDEC, they have this Bat Lasso, but it gets countered by the hookshot. Venge, when you see a level 6, it's going to be hard for CDEC to use this Batrider Lasso to stop a 5-man push. They're hoping that TongFu don't actually group up too much and start taking objectives, but...
I mean, given that, do you think he should have gone for more of a Bone 7 build? It's not an easy game to lasso. There's defensive relocate. There's going to be swaps soon. Could have gone Boots of Travel.
I feel like that's just a Bone 7 thing. It's very kind of... If you don't play that style yourself, it's not something I think you can just
It requires, like, real practice running it, you mean?
Yeah, and just, like, Bone 7 gets so aggressive farming enemy jungle, and just... It's all, like, the playstyle where you're split pushing very heavily, and, I mean, CDEC... I feel like they're going to have... They want to fight around the Medusa's tankiness, so they will still be looking to take those fights fairly soon and use the Medusa as bait or as a frontliner.
And one issue for TongFu is they don't really have much D-push. They have Rocket. That's
yeah, very little.
They have fairly tanky heroes, the Viper, the Clockwork, the Morphling, but there's no one really to clear the wave. And even if you do get a hookshot in, there's defensive Stone Gaze, Remnant out, Batrider just fire flying away, defensive Fissure. So maybe CDEC even consider going for that group up and fight, which they will do now. They have the Blink Dagger Mikasa. This is the grand unveiling. The drum's also coming online for Ember.
Swap is ready. Like, Venge is sitting behind, ready for a swap if that Batrider Lasso comes out. They kind of know this is the timing for the Lasso.
But they are going bottom.
Yeah.
They're kind of expecting this, it looks like.
Can you kill a Morphling? He just... If you get him with the silence before...
Oh, they want the whiz. No, they actually go onto the Morphling, though. Tether comes in, but he tethered to a creep. Oh, no, it's in Q. Where's the backup? He gets silenced. He's left to his own devices. And he will end up trying to retreat to the left side. I don't know if he makes it out here. Is there a flame break? Batrider unable to stop the TP out. Even with the tether to a creep, he still makes it out.
That was very odd. Now here comes your hookshot. Kian wants Mikasa. Will get Mikasa.
Oh, that's so bad for CDEC. They reveal the blink. They don't kill the bat even after a TongFu screw up, and they give up a kill on the Bat Rider.
That was just an odd, sloppy gank, and just kind of weird play from both. Like, the Morphling didn't even morph strength. He waveformed forward past the Bat Rider. Then he got silenced, but he had like a good second window to start morphing strength. I guess he thought that he'd just dodged the lasso and was out scot-free, but TongFu now, lasso on cooldown, Bat Rider dead. This is the opportunity to start taking some of these objectives. And that's the thing, you kind of talked about TongFu not having counter push. They want to be the ones always controlling what's going on. They want to be the puppeteers dictating what CDEC do. They don't want to ever put CDEC in a position where they're pushing and TongFu have to try and defend, because the wave clear or the lack of wave clear is going to really hurt them there.
Maybe trying to slow down this push. And LPC is still fairly squishy. In fact, it could be aggressive who gets in close. They don't have relocate yet. They do have a defensive swap. They'll use it, but it looks like it may cost Kabu. Actually, the mech coming out, keeping him healthy. Xian now forced back. And neither team getting anything done, really. This is kind of embarrassing for both teams that they just can't find a kill.
Yeah, that was good defensive play from TongFu. It looked a bit dicey for them there, but they'll get out. They'll look to get the next rune on LPC's Wisp. Meanwhile, top lane XingQ almost getting a solo kill on one waveform in 5 seconds, but he's not going to go for it this
He has a replicate up as well, running down the river, so he can post up aggressively, and they do have the Skyra Silence, though. He might not be able to get it off. The Mystic Flare is going to find him at long last to kill.
Meanwhile,
not the one we expected.
They've gone in on maybe the Stone Gaze comes out, and we'll see.
I think he potentially walks away here. They're going to continue chasing. Is there any sort of teleport support? There is a Remnant City mid. Aggressive actually comes in, but he's so low. It's a very dangerous rotation by him. Ends up working out. CDEC just barely coming out on top. That Morphling definitely thought he was safe, but it's the power of Skywrath versus this hero early gods.
Yeah, especially nighttime. It's so hard to see when he's coming in. But TongFu, I feel, still get a decent exchange out of that. Getting the tier 1 mid tower, they don't get any kills, but they're keeping the pressure up. They're still farming well. Morphling, obviously not a hero you want to have dying without any real trade in sight, but Morphling at this point out-farming all the CDEC heroes. So as far as his current position and where he's farming and how he's doing, I feel like it's looking pretty good.
Hell, you're talking about Morphling. Look at this Viper. 6,500 net worth.
Yeah.
Point booster up. He's getting beefy, and CDEC do not have great single target burst. So they have Mystic Flare, but as you mentioned in the draft, you have Corrosive Skin to deal with that. If one hero gets really fat, like the Morphling or the Viper, it's something CDEC will struggle mightily to bring down.
Every item U9 picks up just makes them that little bit more invincible. CDEC finally get an item on their Ember Spirit or some levels so that Ember Spirit can fight, and then Viper gets the point booster. Viper looked kind of squishy at the tier 1 tower, but you throw in another 200 health and suddenly U9 is just that little bit tankier. He's just always going to be kind of one step ahead of TongFu this game just because of how well he's farming.
XingQ has to be careful. They have the nighttime vision. Going for the lasso if he doesn't get off the strength. Morph right away. He's in a lot of danger. Where's the lasso? Pulling him back in. The Wisp is waiting, though. Gets the defensive relocate out and does the short distance relocate.
I think they're going to fight this.
It may cost them the Wisp.
I think they want to try and fight. There's no lasso. This is maybe, or at least a tether out. Yeah, CDEC is scared. They have
a hook shot though. Oh, he whiffs it. Bit off the mark.
I think with good reason, CDEC back off there. Without the lasso, Firefly on cooldown, and you have no idea how many heroes are coming your way.
And this pressure bottom is really, I think, going to hurt the Medusa. The tier 2 will be Siege now. They have the Viper mech. The Morphling's fairly durable with the Wisp and the Vent backing him up. And oh, they swap in maybe. This is trouble. Stone Gaze comes out. The Fissure used to try and help his escape, but now he's going to be low and have difficulty fighting from here. Echo Slam all used, but the mech, they're just kept all alive. Now Garter on the run. Xian running in, trying to finish off that Earthshaker. Enchant Totem used. He pulls him in, and it's basically mutually assured destruction. He'll get the Earthshaker kill. It might cost him his life. In fact, it will, but a lot of AoE damage coming out. Tethering forward is your Wisp. XingQ gonna shotgun down and finish off that Skywrath Mage with a little help from a friend, and
that was an insane cogs placement from Clockwork.
They just couldn't do anything. Traps the Earthshaker and just keeps the rest of the team from retreating as well.
Medusa walked into it twice. The Ember Spirit couldn't maneuver. They were trapped by the cliff, trying to walk past, and the cogs just kept on hitting him. It was
really a pinball machine. And what makes matters worse now is you're running Medusa and Ember, but you've lost your Ancients. The map control's gone. TongFu should really look toward that hill near Roshan, and it's difficult to keep up in farm gods. You're up against the Wisp. You're losing towers. You're probably losing the tier 1 top soon. Map control is slipping, and you can tell CDEC are feeling the heat. They're going to smoke all the way from the base towards the top lane. I wouldn't say this has to work, but they're going to be in a really difficult position if it doesn't.
There's a Venge up here, so they've got the swap to be used as a potential save. It is daytime once more, so... And I think TongFu went ahead top anyways. They've taken tier 1, tier 2 bottom, they took the tier 1 mid. The natural next lane to push is just top lane. It's far away from the bottom where you've already got a bit more lane pressure happening. It just seems like where they want to go. Kian as well as the Wisp not there, but we will have a... Okay, no relocate. Wisp is just going to TP up.
Let's brawl. 7 heroes top.
This has got to favor TongFu, I feel.
Waveform in. Yeah, they're just in good position right now. And I feel the one weakness of CDEC's draft, which we have not discussed, is they're slightly immobile. You've got the Ember Spirit and Bat who can kind of get around the map, but Medusa, Earthshaker, who I view as the backbone of this draft, are very slow to move around the map. And you're up against Clockwork, and especially just the Morphling Wisp. These heroes can be everywhere, and they're kind of outmaneuvering CDEC around the map.
Medusa's super clunky especially. I fully agree there. And hook shot mid lane, they're going to catch up Medusa, and well, no way out of this one. Relocate coming in as well. There's going to be multiple heroes making sure they get this kill, even with the Stone Gaze.
That Fisher actually getting him killed as well. I mean, not that he's getting out most likely, but blocking off any chance of retreat. Just salt in the wounds right now. As TongFu, they want to force another round of tiebreakers. We might have some additional hype tomorrow morning at 14C, or SGT, I should say. The siege continues mid while the split push is trying to be avoided here by the Wisp. Wants to get out.
Wisp,
Tethers
please.
to the creep. Where are you going? Oh, is he going to make an escape? Fissure blocking the Ember out. No way in hell. Does LPC really walk away from this? Oh my god. This game is turning into a train wreck rather quickly for CDEC.
ES is normally one of like Gardner's best heroes. This is
It is.
one of what he's known for.
Teams are banning this hero second stage against CDEC if his support hasn't been picked, but it's turning into the sixth man for TongFu.
Yeah.
Blocking the Medusa in, blocking the Ember away from the Wisp.
It is late. It's past midnight in China. They've been playing since midday, so...
But TongFu
cut
have
them
been
some
playing
slack.
since midday
Oh
as well.
yeah, absolutely. It goes both ways.
Maybe the TongFu porridge is keeping them nice and fresh and a little more focused. Maybe they've got some caffeinated porridge.
Yeah, they've spiked that porridge with who knows what.
Mix in a little Red Bull or something.
Oh yeah.
Or your favorite caffeine of choice.
Or your favorite hard drug of choice. Who knows? You know, each to his own. Who am I to judge?
We're not implying anything. We're just saying, but we're not.
No. Yeah, we demand drug testing.
Drug
here
test
at
Tom
DAC.
Food right now.
Yeah, these guys are not playing like they're tired enough for 12:30 in the morning.
Feel free to tweet at Mars TV that you're very disappointed in the lack of hard drug testing. Oh my. We're gonna get an angry message real soon from the end.
Suddenly BTS not casting the main event of DAC. Whoops.
Well, now I'm strangely happy we're not in China, so we don't have to worry about making it back to the West safely. Yeah, it does look good for TongFu though, gods. They have a farm Morphling, they have the Wisp, they've taken map control quite a bit, looking at the Radiant Vision right now. Decent wards, I would say not amazing. I would really like to see a hill ward near the Roshan pit if they can get one up.
Got to get that OP, the OP Roche ward. Right, but that spots the Ancients as well. At this point, CDEC need all the catch-up phone they can get.
I honestly felt like CDEC had a really strong draft, and the timing was going to be that first Batrider blink gank. You go back to it, just a total fail of a gank. But if that goes well, then I feel like they could have just snowballed this game pretty easily and been in basically the reverse position of where they are now, where TongFu is the team on the back foot.
Skyrash, please. He gets the silence off of Kian before the fight breaks out. The Flame Break pushing away, but Viper Strike will bring down Mikasa, and the swap is going to cancel the TP out of Skyrash.
Another 2 bite the dust, and
tier
they're
2
split
top
pushing
probably,
bottom.
Yeah. I guess there's no tier 2 at bottom lane, but just farm for Xingqiu. He can then...
That's an E-Blade,
mid.
by the way. 22-minute
my
E-Blade. I
God.
think he's had it for a little while, up to 1600 gold. We haven't really seen it used yet.
No.
But he's going to lay into maybe here. Not going for this kill, but...
Doesn't have the mana for that.
Actually, the Earthshaker needs to be a bit careful. Wiz is coming in, giving some mana. Drops the Echo Slam. He gets shotgunned in his own home. Nowhere safe.
Home in trouble. And LPC, is he going to go
Stick
for...
charges, cloak.
Okay.
He's got a tether momentarily. Nope.
Well, space created as U9 pushes the top lane. Acceptor arrives. This Viper is crazy farmed as well. Not just the Morphling who's doing well. This Viper is kind of the 1-2 punch. as no one on the CDEC side really offering too much. Ember Spirit has just been a bit of a... He's 1-0-2, like, you can't really say this Ember Spirit's played poorly, but it just doesn't feel like his impact has been what it needs to be. I feel like it's more the hero rather than the play. Like, I feel like Aggressive has played perfectly, but the hero of the draft, not really coming together in some ways. As much as I agree with you that it looked like it was solid, I think the Ember Spirit pick is not really the pick for this game, though. Oh, that disjoint. Dodges the waveform, dodges the E-Blade.
Coach has some moves, but his moves are not taking objectives.
And you look at the heroes Mikasa's been playing this tournament. Do you feel like that is the hero to put him on in a game-deciding match?
That I do find a little odd. Maybe Mikasa isn't an Ember player, but you've got maybe who could play that. Medusa does not have a huge skill cap, so I feel like they could have even put Mikasa on the Medusa and put maybe on the Ember. Mikasa's been a real playmaker for the team.
He's been playing carries in mid, and I just feel like that's where you want to try and keep him, but...
I still think if the Batrider's first gank or two works well, Ember can be the Batman to his Robin, or vice versa. I'm not sure who's the real boss for that, but, you know, either way, the dynamic duo, and they can go around the map finding kills. The Wisp is a pretty easy kill. The Venge can be as well. Morphling if they get off the Skyra silence, but with the Bat being shut down, Ember, it's just not a hero that can do it alone. He's not going to go around getting solo kills, not against this very strong defensive draft.
This is, I mean, honestly, some of the best we've seen from TongFu all tournament long. I think CDEC actually playing this game pretty well as far as their draft go. They haven't had the best outcomes from the Batrider Lasso games, but TongFu, the draft is working. I was a bit kind of, I don't know, a bit caught out by like the opening Venge plus Wisp 2 picks. It didn't really seem like they had I mean, it revealed nothing as far as their draft went, but getting the Viper, which I think is honestly one of the heroes they play best with, and the Morphling has been, Xingqiu has really been the standout player for this team.
So, oh. Yeah, your Ember better back off there if you're CDEC.
With an Aegis, he can go much more heavy on the Agi here. Doesn't have to be as concerned for his survival, so...
You know, I mentioned a bit earlier, gods, I'd like to see more aggressive wards from TongFu. Man, these wards they have now are exceptionally good.
Yeah.
They have full map control, and with a Clockwork, Wisp, Morphling, you really can't leave the base. Maybe the Ember can a bit, but at some point, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if TongFu even... Well, actually, they're a pretty terrible lineup to get a Hex, but I mean, maybe Viper even gets one.
Viper building... This is the TongFu special. The Heart of Terras Viper to slow siege you as slowly as possible. I watched like an 80-minute game where TongFu just had Viper go in with a Manta Heart, do 200 damage to the tower, back off, and wait for the mana to cool down, and then do it again.
You know what that reminds me of is when EG at DreamHack Winter 2012, where they wouldn't even siege the tower with heroes.
Oh, yeah.
They would Warcry the creep wave and stand like 1,600 units back and just watch the creeps hit the tower. I swear to God, it took like 8-10 waves to even bring it down to half HP, but hey, it's safe.
It's just such a good sieging item. You're not even going to get lassoed here, but we should expect a relocate coming in. Yep, here we go. TongFu, U9 gets Flame Break out of the Mystic Flare, but he's still going to go down. That's a big kill to be picking up here, and so far only an Earthshaker is lost. The TP from Q gets cancelled by a swap, so it's going to be a 2-for-1, but...
Coach, does Coach have a TP? He's hiding in the tree line. It's cooling down for 7 seconds. He'll make it out. Meanwhile, top lane, the Skywrath Mage gets blown up by the Morphling.
He was bottom lane, but
okay.
the Morphling gets...
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he got the kill, then went back top, so...
Yeah, but he's still got Aegis. I think you could even look for a little bit of high ground siege here.
Yeah, I think that was still as good as it gets for CDEC. The 2-for-1, but they kill off the Viper, who is a really big kill for them, especially when you're down 10k plus gold.
They're just map controlling so well, and that, I mean, that's a great kill for CDEC, like you said, but it's still, you're not killing the Morphling, and ultimately as the game goes on, he is the hero that needs to be dealt with. With a Wisp back you up, he becomes incredibly potent.
What do you think Morphling goes for next? He's got the E-Blade's got 5k gold almost.
Manta is decent here. Is he going Lincoln Sphere, it looks like?
So
good against the Bat.
The Skyrath Silence.
Yeah, I mean, you could also go Manta as the other main option there.
Yeah,
but the Linkage is the slightly safer choice versus Fissure and Lasso. And it also lets him do his own thing more. Maybe they even start bringing the Whisper on the Viper more, and...
What is that BKB?
Goes for the hook shot. Coach trying his best to keep CDEC in this game.
Or Kian doing questionable things there. I don't know why BKB. I guess he thought he was about to get lassoed and there was like 3 or 4 heroes coming his way. He didn't need BKB. He just had to Rocket Flare to cancel the blink and then go for the hook. I mean, chances are it's like a 50-50 4-star dodges it or something happens, but a bit of an odd play. Teams are tired, LD. Teams are tired. It's 1 in the morning almost.
Well, that also means there is always potential for throw, though. You go high ground against Bat, Earthshaker, Dusa.
Oh, yeah.
It is very easy to overextend, and I think that's where for TongFu, you have to continue getting farther ahead.
The Battle Fury Ember Spirit high ground defense, and then you've got Medusa who just sits there split-shotting.
Imagine a 4/5 hero Stone Gaze into some big cleaves from Ember. I think you're completely right that as much as it might not be the most exciting Dota, it is the right play to relax, take it safe and slow, and just continue farming the map, get more items on the Morphling, and wait until you find a couple of pickoffs to even go for the siege.
Yeah. So for now, no Roshan for some time. They've still got the Aegis, one we're talking about there. They've got Aegis for another minute, so could look to do something with this, but right now it seems top lane is where they want to do.
Well, good luck to Kabu trying to gank aggressive here, but they should have a defensive remnant.
Well, yeah, one of the tier 3 tower.
Okay.
Yep.
So he'll zip on back. He's doing a nice job. This is the appropriate play for CDEC. They can't really fight that well unless they catch someone out of position, but just drop remnants at tower, split push with him. Maybe we'll hold the line elsewhere. And Batrider, the other hero that can somewhat get out on the map. It's interesting because you're up against Morphling Wisp, and yet it's CDEC as the team that needs to be ratting right now. But they're adapting pretty well, I would say.
Oh man, we casters can be happy. Pipe being built by LPC on the Wisp. It's going to be actually almost up, so they're going to have Pipe and Mech soon on the TongFu side. It's pretty good against the I mean,
this suggests they want to go end the game soon.
Yeah, next Aegis probably. I guess they're still working around this first Aegis, but there we go. It gets reclaimed.
Do you think this is a pipe game?
I was like...
Mainly against Earthshaker.
It's not like Earthshaker doesn't have a bleed.
I guess they don't know that. He could be very close to Blink. He's also only level 8.
Yeah.
That's a level 1 Echo. It will probably be a level 1 Echo for 5-6 minutes at least.
It seems... I'm not sure what else Wisp goes for. Like, end of the day, you're a Wisp. You could get the Vlads, perhaps, for the push. You could...
I feel like Vlad's would even... Well, Vlad's isn't that great with this draft, but...
You could get the Blink Dagger for the super long tether.
Get that that old school Heaven's Halberd. Not too bad against the Dusa.
Yeah. They really like Disable, too. That's the other thing. Like, ganking the Emissary, it's just not possible when it's just like the hookshot Venge Stun. They could even benefit from something like a... Well, I guess Orchid is maybe not an option when Emissary has the Yasha to go into
Clockwork looking to make some plays here. They're going to shotgun guard. I'll see you later. I don't think... The Blink Dream is pretty dead unless they win a fight in the base, I feel.
Yep. And they're going to look to go high ground here. They say, yeah, we'll just wait till the Aegis expires and then push, because that's the last thing CDEC would expect.
Well, it may not be expected, but it's a strong play, considering that they're just getting shotgun kills everywhere they turn. Xian might be caught out, though. He BKBs and then gets dragged in. Anyway, they swap to break the lasso. It's probably going to cost the Venge her life as well, as that Clockwork was dead too quickly. Kabu being run down here. One more auto attack will do the job. That's a gem down. They need to reclaim this. They will. And now, in the end, it settles down, but U9's arrived.
Yeah, it needs to be Viper on the front lines there. I feel like Viper should be the one just trying to poke the high ground as early as possible. I guess he's not quite got the Heart of Terrace, so it's still a little risky for him, but 3v3 now. E-Blade back up, and a decent amount of agi on your Morphling. But he's going to try to get to the back lines, get to this Earthshaker.
It's pretty easy when he's got no blink.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the main thing is you don't want to dive the tier 4s, but...
It's the TongFu Slow Seed special. They do about 500 damage to the tower. Well, less than that.
We'll be back in 10 minutes. Just don't go anywhere.
Yeah, another 300 damage then, and then we'll gradually get to a conclusion to this game.
Our production team is giddy with excitement right now.
Woo, yeah!
They were expecting a fast day. They're like, let's pull out the beers. We're done. Six games. That's all we got. Nope, we got 3 tiebreakers.
All right, let's turn to caffeine. Someone start making coffee.
No, I've switched to my tea already. It's like, all right, we've got to focus. We got some tiebreakers happening. So this game far from in the bag for TongFu. I mean, they are 10k gold ahead, maintaining it, but the main thing is it's not increasing. For a long time, they were getting kills. They were out farming their opponents, but they're not increasing the lead, and they're up against Medusa. Ember Spirit, even a good late game kind of staller as well. So, Batrider, an amazing late game initiator. And I feel like TongFu, as far as late game initiators go, Clockwork doesn't really match up to the Bat.
He's not good against their heroes either. Mikasa getting caught out now. The cogs are there. He will force step himself out, continue to retreat to the right, but there is a little bit more inbound. It's a shotgun from Xin-Q, and once again, the Morphling connecting. For TongFu, this is where they excel. The spread offense, these little pickoffs around the map.
Yeah.
And it's something CDEC have to just continuously be cautious about.
Yeah.
You give up one too many of those, and especially if they have the Aegis, then they start taking... Then they actually don't go just for the TongFu special, but they go for a whole lane of racks.
Well, Morphling pushing them towards the top lane. He's almost going to complete its scouting now as well, so... Combine that with this harder Turrets for Viper, and your 2 damage-dealing core heroes suddenly become very tanky and unkillable.
Well, gods, we've received a message from the future.
And what is that?
In the year 2035, TongFu, CDEC, and Rave are currently playing their 1257th tiebreaker. Please save yourselves and watch again.
That's what I'm banking on, you know? That's what I live for, LD. That's why I became a caster. For those kind of moments, you know?
I'm not sure if... it sounds horrible, but also amazing at the same time. Imagine when someone finally wins.
I may have to tell Perfect World I demand a salary raise, you know?
I feel bad for the other teams, though, because they're all waiting for the next 50 years.
Yeah, the main event suddenly delayed. They play like 20 TIs and suddenly like the DAC still has been... Imagine what the prize pool will be by then. All the crowdfunding continues. By the time you get to 2035, you're talking like, I mean, you look at inflation and everything, you're looking at like an $80 million prize pool, LD.
I can't argue with that.
I mean, $80 million in 2035 is probably like only a couple $1 million today, though. But from our perspective as 2015 us, the 2035 prize pool is something to hype up.
Yeah, it sounds nice. Now I'm less convinced the more that we discuss this. Maybe getting hookshot in mid. There's a BKB from Xian, and rotating will be your Morphling. Quick, decisive frag as they bring down that Earthshaker. Again, he just continues to get slaughtered. Xian moving forward and aggressive on the retreat out. This not having an Earthshaker, Blake, I do feel is a real big concern for CDEC, and I don't know how you address it.
It's not coming anytime. It's just the fact he's level 8 as well. That's really like poverty central right now. 35 minutes in the game.
This guy really needs that $80 million prize pool because every team's guaranteed a little cut, you know?
Yep. What would Ice Frog do? You can't patch in the middle of a major tournament. You'd be stuck on this patch for the next 20... actually, he's patched in the middle of the tournament. Who are we kidding?
I was casting one of them. Cinderin who's busy spamming his Ellie Giggles in the chat.
Middle of a
that guy is easily on
middle of a BO3 or middle of a BO 7049 or whatever it may be in this case. Suddenly, oh, we're just going to patch things.
Here we go. TongFu pushing in again. They get the Aegis here. And they're going to move down the middle lane. Nope, just kidding. They're going to back off to farm bottom.
They may send like some illusions, you know.
A little scouting party, a peace treaty.
Yeah.
Who's going to carry the white flag?
Both the teams at the same time. It's like, we surrendered first. Come on, what is this? We want to back off and farm.
Oh my. Yeah, looking for the shotgun here top lane. There is no Flame Guard up right now, but just Rat Dota from Aggressive.
Yeah, he's done a good job of playing. This is full-on Rat Dota here at the top lane.
I have to say, I think CDEC are one of the best teams from China at executing this style. Maybe really enjoys it. Aggressive has played it well in his Juggernaut the other day. Mikasa loves going for his Shadowblade Mass Command, his Juggernaut, and mostly just using it to split push and farm. So, honestly, in that sense, I feel CDEC are pretty comfortable in this position. Even though currently they're down 12,000 gold, 10,000 experience. This is kind of their bread and butter.
I feel like TongFu just using the map better this last couple of minutes. They're kind of getting the farm back up and not just moving around without purpose. Even if they're not finding kills, pushing down towers, they're out farming their opponents. I mean, even you're looking at someone like a Wisp who's picked up a Vitality booster. He's going to be building towards some big items. U9 on the Viper, actually going to go for a Scythe of Vice.
I like this. Versus the Rat. I think this is the play. It could be a Lincoln's, or did he already buy the components?
It's the Scythe of Vice, and this is the answer to the Ember Spirit, because they had no disable, no way of stopping the Ember Spirit's Rat Dota without some kind of disable.
Yeah, Hex is good. Also really nice against Batrider if you're just quick on the reactions, so this could be the game winner. One good Hex on those heroes if they get caught without buyback. Yeah. Then you can push. It's a kind of unconventional item for 9. It reminds me a bit of Smash on his Templar Assassin way back in We Play Season 2, where he was 1v1 against Dendy mid, and Dendy was some elusive carry, I believe. He went for an early Hex, and it ultimately won them the game on TA. So Viper, kind of a similar hero where you don't think of this as a go-to item, but sometimes you got to get creative.
Yeah, Hex is surprisingly good in, like in carries in general. Like your Ursas, your Shadow Fiends can be very viable in certain... basically, if you, these no-disable lineups, which we're seeing a lot of these days, with teams kind of focusing more around the tanky cores.
Coach continuing to try, but they're waiting for him, bottom lane. Oh, you think you're going somewhere? No, you're not. Swap, Hex, and dead. Coach is down. Meanwhile, top lane barely retreating as the Ember. Oh my.
Oh,
that is concerning.
That was, I guess, just the shotgun.
He's almost got, I think he's almost got the butterfly complete, picked up that additional Eagle song on the Morphling, I believe, and closes in on B-Fly territory. At which point, I mean, he already can easily kill the Earthshaker. He's going to bring the Ember down very low, if not finish him, and then Ember has to go heal, even if he doesn't die. And that opens TongFu up to begin sieging.
It just feels like maybe he doesn't have enough of the map to farm on his Medusa. The Ember Spirit's the one who can kind of split push and get out. Now he can't even do that with the Viper, but
the Medusa's the one that needs to farm more, I would say.
At this, it's like he's not the one who can split push, so it's,
right.
It's this kind of like catch-22 where it's like only one of them can split push, but it's the one you don't really want getting the farm. And hey, now the high ground siege is coming, and maybe he doesn't have the items really equipped to defend this.
In fact, he only tickles. Again, CDEC lacks single target burst. They're going to try for something here. The swap in onto maybe, focusing the Medusa. Mystic Flare comes out, 2 trapped in the core. Actually, they get the Morphling off the bat. Oh my goodness! A disastrous initiation. The Cogs end up spelling his downfall. Now Xian trying to turn this one around, but he gets dunked. They lose 3. TongFu trying to go high ground, and this is where CDEC can just put their experience to the test. They bring down the Aegis. Kabu gonna fall. It's 4 dead in a matter of moments. Sleight of Fist got him. And U9, well, the Fisher, Carter maybe saving U9. No, just kidding. Aggressive in position. Hex cooling down. It ain't gonna matter. They've lost 5. They've lost the Aegis. A triple kill for your Ember. And just when you think that TongFu have this game in their grasp, they're right back in it. They throw a nice, solid 8k gold swing directly back the other way. And Coach Mikasa and his squad, and they've got a fresh lease on life.
What? I guess Morphling just thinks he can be... Again, I think something broke the Lincolns and he got Ancient Sealed, so he couldn't morph strength and he was just so squishy, but... I think Bench can't make that play. You've got to use the swap defensively. The Wisp relocate just wasn't instant enough, wasn't something that reliable enough.
The Cogs also really screwed him over at the end.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The Venge needs to be much... I think TongFu just... I mean, they were really far ahead, and Venge kind of got to Kabu's head like, okay, we're really far ahead, let's just use the swap to get a pick off and go from there, but he just put maybe into the middle of a fight for a Stone Gaze, and then suddenly Morphling had no way out. Because there was no swap to kind of reposition.
I love this by aggressive. Immediately top, yeah, I'm just going to start hitting your tier 1 tower, slice the wave while I'm at it, and CDEC, you win that fight, you see that you've been holding on, and TongFu, when forced to try and make a play, just completely fold in the clutch. I think CDEC feel like they have this game.
15k to a 5k gold lead after that fight. That is just...
You've got Ember, Medusa, and they are getting fat as hell. Oh, it's almost dead even in gold. Like, Ember has to know he's very, very big at this point. Sitting on 4.5k gold and Daedalus and Battle Fury. I wonder what he's even going to go for. He could complete Manta and almost have buyback, but maybe he even just skips that Manta at this point.
I think he's not... I guess, yeah, there's no real silence. The main thing, I guess, you could disjoint like a Venge Stun.
Nah, right as I say that, Commentator's Curse, he's going to buy a Manta.
You can disjoint, Venge Stun, get out of the E-Blade. You could, if you time it really nicely, dodge the Viper Strike.
You can also just draw Creep Waves back. It's a good rat item in general, one of the best, actually.
Yeah.
But he was saving his gold for quite a while, so... Well, maybe going to have Butterfly soon, and this
Same time Morphling gets his Butterfly.
Butterfly's a really good item versus Morphling, because that hero normally does not like to build MKB. And they don't really... they do have the Viper Hex, I suppose, but... I mean, do you really want to be hexing a Medusa who's super tanky anyway? Yeah, it's icky.
Yeah, it feels like you want to ignore the Medusa for as long as possible in the fight. Prioritize the Ember Spirit with the Hex if you can, and try to bring down even the Bat Rider nice and fast.
The Butterfly boys.
I actually end up going for a 4-star too, which...
Hey, he got an item. Come on.
Oh,
versus the Clockwork, it's a good choice.
Yeah, it's good against the Clockwork.
Be nice to our Earthshaker. He's also level 11, by the way. That fight was a real boon for Garter.
It was very favorable. Xingqian going to go in with the BKB Blade Mail.
Are they really chasing this? They're going to try for it with the relocate from LPC. The Morphling comes in, but they lose their Wisp right away. Now Xingqiu in trouble, being pursued out by Aggressive. The Fissure comes forth. He's fairly healthy for now. The backline's not so much, though. And Aggressive is just auto-attacking a Viper as a freaking Ember Spirit. He gets the double kill. Now they chase onwards and upwards. Mikasa, coach on the hunt. No lasso, but starts applying the sticky napalm. They're going to get a third snag. They bring down the clockwork. Oh, CDEC. Now they know they have TongFu by the balls. This game, it's an 8K gold swing, then a 3K gold swing. It's been 11K going their way, and don't even get started on the experience. They now have swung it about, I think, 16K experience or so.
The pincer is tightening right now, and TongFu is suddenly thinking, oh crap, what have we done?
And Rave thinking the same. Oh crap, TongFu were the ones who we were counting on.
You know, it's one thing if you're Rave and you're watching CDEC stomp TongFu, you're like, well, there goes the end of our tournament life. But you're watching this game like they have a 15K lead, they're in a perfect position, they can take Roshan, they can slow siege enemy base, and then suddenly that fight at top where they get wiped with an Aegis, a 10K gold swing, and you're just like, what on earth just happened? It's like, it's that little, just small glimmer of hope that you still have a tournament life, and TongFu, well, for themselves as well as Ray, potentially have thrown it away.
I suppose in good news, Roshan has the max respawn more or less, so not going to be able to get an Aegis on top of this, yet I feel like now they have the map control. Gem, did Mikasa buy the gem, or was that something lost by TongFu?
Yeah, Dire Courier.
Yeah, they lost their gem earlier. I don't even know if the Radiant can buy a gem anymore, but even if they can, it's going to be hard to hold on to it now, it seems. Is available, but they're not going to go for it, and as a result of that, Vision looking pretty good for the Dire. You remember when we talked earlier, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago, about how good the Radiant Vision was? Yeah. Now they're in the dark.
It's just these rocket flares. I guess they can always scout Roshan constantly, so they're not going to be caught by surprise by Roshan necessarily.
It's more getting, yeah, that's true. It is a worry still getting caught by the lasso, though. And Xian, maybe the one who gets caught here?
Both cores for CDEC have a buyback, and especially important on the Ember Spirit, who can get very aggressive, go in, and have that fire on it down for when he does buy back.
Well, gods, I think they need a new porridge recipe. This one seems to be losing its efficacy as the game moves on. They will buy the new gem, though. It sucks to have to buy a new gem, but I think this is an essential pickup. You're up against Bat. If they have good aggressive wards, you are going to give up a crucial lasso kill, almost certainly, and one lasso kill leads to Roche, probably leads to tier 2 falling bottom, and, well, it might not even matter. He's just bought the gem. Don't lose it so soon. Mikasa, coach on the hunt. He's going to go for Xian, so mercifully, they're only going to kill Clockwork to start. Is their follow-up, though. They're trying to rat top lane with the Morphling and the Wisp. Do they even consider rotating here?
Try cancel TPs if they can.
They really don't want to be coming to fight. They want to just be split pushing, and now they want to back. Xingqiu in the front lines. There is a relocate available if need be. LPC staying and keeping a decent backup. They're actually going to relocate on mid. They want to try to demand advantage here, and they quickly bring down the Skywrath mage. Now U9 hexing up Garter. This could work out really nicely for TongFu. Perhaps they've outmaneuvered CDEC. They get 2 kills.
Just wait a little longer. It's coming back.
Oh, but they know it. They know it's almost up.
Yeah.
It's the max respawn. Oh. Still, they lose the Wisp, though.
Yeah, that was top lane after the relocate. That was a great save on the Morphling, and not just saving him, but bringing him to the middle of a favorable fight. Clockwork going to buy back to make sure they secure Roshan. CDEC don't really have the numbers advantage, not to mention Batraider gets scouted out, and his last hold cooldown to 7 seconds.
Oh, we're going back the other way, baby. This graph is going to start sliding upwards. We are officially going beyond the summit to the other side and then back again. Oh my. It's still very hard to break the CDEC base, though. Even with an Aegis, I mean, hell, we saw what happened last time. And that was when they had the 12-14K gold lead. Now it's still pretty much even.
Yeah, I think TongFu are going to be much more cautious. They're not going to look to make any risky plays with Aegis on their side. So we'll see what the next move's going to be. Morphling farming well, has another 4K, but he's kind of somewhat capped out on item slots here. He's building a BKB now back at base, which is alright here, but he needed something, I guess, to get out of the Ancient Seal at some point, because if they break the Lincolns and silence them up, he has no answer.
Yeah, look at the fight where they lost the Aegis and lost 5 heroes plus the Morphling that second time. That was, I think he has BKB there. There's no way he dies. He gets trapped in the cogs, hit by a Mystic Flare, along with Ancient Seal, I believe, was used on him, and he just couldn't move for ages. But if he has a BKB, they don't kill him. Ember Spirit, not particularly effective against Morphling with the super high agi. unless they get him on a cleave, which is possible. There were a couple of heroes near him in the cogs, but yeah, BKB, it makes it a bit safer for him, and ultimately he can man up with anyone outside of Dusa. I think he still maybe beats Dusa 1-on-1, but not quickly enough.
Well, TongFu going back top. They got to be careful about this seeds. They have got the cheese as well this time. Viper, U9, with that in hand, and
I'm just thinking about Rave right now. Like, we're watching CDEC versus TongFu. I can only imagine what's going through their minds right now. Like, you fools! Just win the game! You had such a lead!
they wish they were, like, in the room coaching TongFu right now. Like, just, they just want to be a part of this game. It's that
like,
feeling of being powerless.
Can we 10v5
yeah.
CDEC?
Being powerless as to your own fate, and also just having that being so close at the same time is what's really tough. Top tower, 2 HP. Someone go and right-click that one.
Get the deny?
I think they're happy just to... They'll probably deny it if TongFu come close.
I'm gonna laugh if this Morphling somehow snags the tower kill.
Wave in and then replicate out or something.
Yeah. Wisp relocate and tether out. A man can dream. Well, for now it hangs on. The Blade of Tears. Let's see. What's he got going on here? Yeah, those are pretty low numbers, man.
There'll be many victories.
5 Morphling victories. Those are good stats for 5 Morphling victories, I guess. But the alternative is he's lost like 50 games. That's a lot of replicates. Maybe he's played some long Morphling games, Sin-Q. Well, TongFu, keep the lanes pushed in. Even if you lose a fight, don't let CDEC just walk down mid. And the good news is CDEC do not push that quickly. They fight well, but they're not. It's not like this is some Lycan lineup with BOTs and Nature's Prophet. Speaking of which, we don't see that hero at all anymore. It's almost like he doesn't exist. But yeah, even if they win a fight, they'll have a hard time getting towards objectives quickly.
Can't be smoke about to end. They're going to just deward here and try and starve out CDEC somewhere. This is what they were doing very effectively last time when they had that 10k lead. They got it up to a 15k gold lead, not by fighting or even really taking towers, just by keeping CDEC bottled up, farming both sides of the map and farming more of the lanes, whereas CDEC, that was back when Medusa was like, well, this Medusa's not really getting much farm, not really able to get too much of the map, just the Ember Spirit split pushing, but they need to kind of go back to that area, that style of play. Get the Viper, the Heart of Taras, just kind of focus on your own itemization for the next couple of minutes. Even with Morphling getting near 6 slotted, I feel like TongFu still have some room to grow.
They do. I guess the question as well is, where are the openings? Because CDEC have changed their play a lot. Ever since losing that big fight, I don't think they have a gem. Oh, they do have a gem on Mikasa, but they're not risking leaving the base. They're kind of sitting back. We don't see Ember Spirit split pushing. I think this is a huge credit to the choice of a Hex on U9. If there wasn't a Hex on him, I think we would see that Ember out on the map a lot more. But with between the Aegis and the Hex, he doesn't want to risk leaving the base. So not leaving the base means very few opportunities for TongFu to like win the game safely. If they want to go for something, it's going to be with 5 alive in CDEC in their base on the high ground. And like you said, just continue starving them, stall the game, farm more. Maybe you even wait for the next stages.
Get some more cheese. Cheese is now going to be even more effective on the Viper with the extra HP from the Heart, so...
It's just, I feel the dilemma for TongFu is there's no easy answer. Like,
yeah,
you're in a position where CDEC have fantastic late game. You have good late game. I'd say CDEC is probably a bit better. And you're afraid to make a mistake. You know, a loss here, you're out of the tournament, CDEC move on. And you feel like crap.
Yeah. So Aegis gets reclaimed, nothing much done from TongFu. I feel like that's ultimately fine. Last time they had an Aegis, that was when the 10k gold swing happened. That was when they lost their lead, and we're back here in this kind of even-ish stalemate game. And you can see from the goal graph, it's once again, it's just TongFu outfarmed their opponents. They have the map control. They are the ones imposing fear in CDEC, even with CDEC having gotten this game back to near even.
Well, gods, they spent 35 minutes farming their last advantage, and they managed to throw it away in 2 minutes. So
don't worry, I expect the same, LD.
I think CDEC is have your lead. It'll make the rubber band that much more taut. Do you want to do over-under here? How long do you think this game goes? Ooh. This is some good old Chinese Dota, super tense, not even a kill per minute. Does it just end now? Did I just cause it to end now? They're looking for this jump in mid. I don't know if TongFu want to go on that. That's oh yeah. I wonder why Medusa's sitting mid.
I think this goes.
But they could get the backlines. They're gonna hook right in, catching out the Scar's mage to start. He will force step, but try to retreat. And now the Medusa engages. U9 just running away. In the meantime, your Morphlane is relocated in over the backside. On to maybe goes. Will be Stone Gaze, but where's the follow-up for this? Aggressive has to get in. He gets a nice little slight initiation, but maybe now gets focused, gets forced back. They bring down that Skywrath. The Earthshaker dead as well. TongFu, have they found their opening at long last? Aggressive on the run. Good chains to get out safely. Medusa has buyback. Skywrath, no. TongFu, they've gotten a nice little jump here, but I don't know if it's good enough to go for the push.
And the key to success seems to just be not having Aegis. They have Aegis, they get team wiped, lose 10k gold lead. But when they don't have Aegis, things go fine, things go smooth.
All right, so
More of that. Don't. If you Roshan, just
deny
the
it.
Aegis.
Just KYXY that Aegis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If that was TongFu playing in that match, it would have been a smooth sailing to the championship.
The championship.
Well, for the grand final.
We've already crowned the grand finalists. Oh my. Have you seen this game? Oh, TongFu, they will go for the siege again. Sleight of Fist, decent turtle lineup here from CDEC, but if they don't want to be giving up 1-2 lanes of Rax, they got to buy back real soon. They'll buy back on the Dusa. Garter gonna initiate with the Fissure. He's got the Blink Echo, I believe
Just
it's
the 4-step.
Oh no, the 4-step Echo rather. Mikasa going for the lasso. It gets broken by a nice defensive play, and the swaps there from Kabu. They do end up getting off the Batrider kill. They keep the Morphling alive. Pipe not deployed. That's a Batrider who also has a buyback, but CDEC are running out of extra lives. They bought back on Earthshaker, they bought back on Dusa. They now only have the Ember and the Bat, and TongFu are closing in. They're starting to cinch that noose. It just takes one or more 2 good plays, and with the Hex on U9, it's fully within their grasp to achieve it. Another 3k gold swing. It keeps on moving up, gods. It's about to get to that territory they had about 15 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago with that 15, 18k gold lead. Will this graph dip again and be a nice little sine wave, or?
The bigger they are, the harder they fall. So.
And CDEC are looking towards the Ancients. Roshan, what's our timer here? 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes 45 seconds.
Yeah. They came very close. If they got that melee axe, that would have been really nice for TongFu. Not far from game winning. You got Ember, you got Medusa, you got good lane clear, but it's just you do so much damage to it, and then it's going to heal all back up. I don't think they can really go for another push that soon.
It's so big not having the Earthshaker blink. Like, you look at that fight, he's like awkwardly trying to maneuver his way in for a 4-step Echo. It just doesn't cut it. Even if he doesn't actually ever go in, the threat of the blink Echo is just so much scarier and really affects the way TongFu go for their push.
Yeah. Well, from here on out, TongFu, they're getting great farm across the board. You've got Clockwork farming well, Morphling singing the 8k gold club. Gonna get caught out top lane. Uh-oh!
Like you said, bigger they are.
Whoa!
Relocate.
That did not go very far. And then he's gonna replicate out though, so he's gonna still be alive.
LPC,
Wisp.
good play there by him. Well,
They know where Wisp is coming back, but hey.
that's an acceptable loss. They'll push in mid on the Viper. Yeah, Wisp will go down. Goodbye, LPC.
No big deal.
You've done your job. Die like a good soldier.
That would have been a big kill on the Morphling. His net worth is insane, so that would have been a big gold swing going CDEC's way.
Saving Private IO.
So TongFu get vision down. They want to make sure they can try to secure the next Roshan, as much as it has been a bit of a death trap for them. XinQ just sitting on 8k gold. At this point, it's like you get your boots to travel, I imagine. I'm not sure why I guess...
Yeah. Why is he? Actually, he's got 7k gold. But please,
yeah.
please buy something.
He sells Lincolns.
What? Wait, what?
Boots to travel and Satanic, I think. Yeah, Satanic.
Okay. He's still gonna have a lot of gold. So preserves buyback. I was just baffled by not getting BOTs in that situation.
It was just like you could see him like the thought process. At first, it's like I want my treads. Nah, that's okay. I'll get boots to travel. Like, oh wait, what do I sell? Lincolns. It was
Bottom
very
lane,
slow.
we will maybe have a jump on this Batrider. They do have that Hex initiation if the Viper gets in vision.
Morph's coming in.
Huh.
At this point, the Medusa, the buyback does slow down the Medusa's next item growth, which is kind of, at this point, Medusa really needs that next damage item, I imagine. I feel like an MKB from Medusa against the Butterfly is going to be very, very important, but buys a Manta. I don't know, this Manta just doesn't seem like it's going to do too much.
Yeah, it's... What are you manting? I mean,
E-Blade is
the
like
E-Blade, I guess, the Venge Stun.
Medusa's not being E-Bladed in general, though. Oh, what a bait with the Replicate onto the Viper illusion at mid lane.
Rosh is not up yet. I think the
Yikes.
lasso cools down in time. Oh, no, actually, maybe not.
No last.
This is a Max Rocher respawn. This could be very bad. They actually smoked to retreat, and TongFu smoked to go in. Oh no.
Oh man.
Is this how it ends with some epic bait plays by Sinkyu?
Relocate ready. And they're going to scout at Roshan.
They had that high ground ward, but the bat did manage to de-ward it earlier, so they walk in a bit blind. The Remnant comes down just to...
I think they do this anyways. There's no lasso. The initiation for CDEC just isn't there.
Yeah, come at me. Come at me. I dare you. They might just go for it anyway.
Do you go for the steal? That's... I don't know if they're...
Flame break onto the high ground. I mean...
They have their racks.
If you're not going for it, just back off and split push. They're hiding around though. Looks like they want to engage. Ember into the pit. A lot of damage. Aggressive gonna die. Nope, actually barely surviving. He's so low, but Sinkyu will focus him down at long last. He tried to make an escape, couldn't do it. Roshan low, nobody focusing yet. Trying to go for hero kills maybe. Staying alive for ages. They're focusing the raid boss, and the raid boss is standing strong. Grabs the ages, gets the Roche kill, but may die twice anyway. Q is dead. And Cogs are waiting. They push him back. Now they try to go on to him. The Viper Strike comes out and, well, only breaks the Linked Sphere. Maybe. Still standing strong here. The Ember comes back in. Oh, the kills. CDEC. Grand Theft Aegis. The turn of the tides. Force out the double buyback.
What are these buybacks for? What are you getting out of this? Clockwork has got to hit.
That's actually, excuse me, double buyback. This is quadruple buyback with a Vengeful Spirit dieback. Oh my god.
Buyback management, please.
This is very questionable from TongFu.
That was just bizarre. Like, Viper was like watching Medusa walk in to finish off Roshan, and Viper had a magic stick as one of his items, and he couldn't pick up the Aegis because of that. Medusa had an item slot, Viper did not. Easiest Aegis of Medusa's life.
Whenever Medusa can walk into the Roshan pit and just pick up the Aegis, you got issues.
I don't even know who's magic. Why does Viper have a magic stick? Maybe someone like...
Did one of his teammates put a magic stick in his inventory?
Yeah.
Classic pub tactic to deny your teammate the Aegis. Sing Sing would be proud if you were watching.
Well, right now things looking a whole lot.
Morphling is the only hero with buyback.
Oh, hook shot bottom lane. They catch up Mikasa. He's going to BKB, but he's going to be careful. There's another hook shot in 5 seconds, and the damage from Morphling.
It's good. It's not quite enough to get this kill. They're chasing him out. They shotgun him down. They at least secure that Bat Rider kill. Aggressive. Not going to back off. He'll retreat.
That's a big one.
Oh, this could be big, though. They hook on in on the Garter. Also does not have buyback. He's going to get caught out. Will be finished off maybe now in a bit of danger. TongFu, can they break through this Medusa? BKB from Sinkyu. He's trying to fight the Titan all by his little lonesome. He can't quite do it. Another hook. Good initiation, but maybe a little bit too far. They'll lose him. Aggressive now on the run. Everybody getting smacked around by the 4 stabs. And the gem down, just chilling in the middle of the cogs. Still only the single buyback on that Morphling.
Well, over under and when this game ends, LD. What are you thinking? This
80 minutes.
Wow, you went big there.
Over 80.
I was thinking like 70. I was going to say like 70 to like 72ish maybe earlier, but
this game just has that mystical feeling about it.
I want to reach the 100-minute mark. Those glorious 100-minute plus games.
This patch is just not a 100-minute patch.
No.
I probably jinxed it. It's most likely a thing now. Here they go. Bat Rider, no buyback. They get the swamp, but aggressive.
He's got no buyback.
I jinxed it. That's a dieback. Sinkyu in trouble, though, as maybe works onto it, but he's kept alive by the Wisp. Can they finish him off? They've tried to force that in. It's a complete airball. Echo Slam, still the Morphling alive. U9 standing strong. Q gonna fall. It's the super late game hard carry Viper.
Done it. He's gonna make it! This is the last life for them, maybe! Actually, no, he's just got his buyback back.
Wisp tethers in, quickly feeds, maybe gonna drop, maybe is the one hero that has buyback, coming back for a fresh lease on life. It's an ultra kill, Viper of all things. And,
another E-Blade, he also has Satanic, he'll heal up off of the creeps, which is the right way to use this, and...
Well, maybe forces them back, gods.
Well...
Still the one buyback on the Morphling.
Well, no racks, so...
80 minutes and
Syndron, you want to take part? What's your timestamp here? How long do we got? Syndron's going to join us. We need to bring in some
professional
expert analysis for this very well played game. There's so much refined play happening.
Do we have our expert forehead in the house?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the teams is going to win this. It's pretty hard to predict who is going to do it right now because there's absolutely no indication of where this one's going. My money is on the team that gets the throne, probably. It's going to win this.
John, Cinder, and Madden, thank you very much for your input.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure.
That's it. That's your contribution to the cast.
That's
Pretty much what I've got right now.
Synth analysis going on
I
there.
think I'm gonna.
Almost as good as instant replay.
I am.
Do we want to just cut to like the Sind whiteboard and we'll kind of diagram, just draw like a giant arrow up?
Give us the X's and O's here.
Oh my god.
Okay, so on a little bit of a serious note, the problem right now for TongFu is that they're getting so much net worth onto the morph, and he's full. Like, effectively, all the gold that goes onto him right now goes into buybacks. So the more he farms on the map relative to CDEC's heroes, the less they gain. Usually in super late game situations, you still want one of your, like, your fully stacked out carry. You will still often see the stacked out carry push out lanes just to be effective and put pressure on the map, right? But at this point in time, they need other heroes to get stuff. Because it seems like this is not enough. And if we reach in about 10 minutes time, if this Medusa has a Rapier, I think CDEC are going to win the game. Because you saw how hard it is for TongFu to kill the Medusa once. With a Rapier on her, she forces 3 heroes away at one time, at a time.
Yeah, that was Viper just constantly Viper striking her. Morphling just YOLOing onto her.
I think Viper needs damage items. This Hex build has really hasn't been giving them enough.
So what do you do? Replace the mech here? Maybe even the heart gets replaced with something like a Satanic? Or
he's getting AC instead. He's getting AC from that, I'm assuming. Hopefully not a Mjolnir.
Oh no.
Oh boy. That's a freebie.
Clockwork. Relocate. They're going to take this fight. Uh-oh. Clockwork and Morphling trying to duke it up. They dunk onto LPC to start it off. They want to focus that Wisp down real quick. CQ standing strong for now. Maybe is out of mana. Maybe actually getting focused quite hard. He's going to go down. That's a dieback on the Medusa. Maybe TongFu do have this game. Oh, it's 120, and it's got to be straight down the bottom lane now. Maybe the mid, and just go for those friggin' racks.
Oh, he's got a force. Blink at 5.
Is this even worth chasing for? Well, I guess they're going to get him quickly enough.
Yeah.
He does have buyback.
The key thing there was they got the MKB on the Morphling, I feel. And Morphling could actually man-fight the Medusa so much better in that fight with that, and... Well...
It's not a standard Morphling item, but he really did need it. It's already hard enough with Mana Shield.
What's the gold count on Ember?
He's at 4.3.
He doesn't have buyback, right?
No.
Only here with buyback is Morphling.
25 seconds.
Yeah, that's good enough.
I think CDEC can hold this. It's going to take too long for TongFu. They're going to get a lane of racks.
Yeah, but this item can fight against, I feel like, 2, even 3 lanes of racks for quite a while. You got Dusa Ember.
That's
ultimate
pretty
wave
good, though.
Yeah, even if he forces buyback, they've got to get this kill though aggressive. He'll be able to fire him out if he wants to.
He's not really hurting them very much. The Mikasa going to go down. CDEC lack that single target burst, and this is right before they get enough single target damage to finish out anyone else. CQ low, but no BKB. They bring down the Scarif Mage, clipping his wings, and it's straight onto mid. No buyback on any of these 3 heroes. It's 50 seconds. So they've done it.
Oh, I thought they already had a lane.
This looks to be megas.
This is where just Ember doesn't cut it late game against a Morphling. The base armor is just means Ember Spirit does no damage.
You have a Morphling. They don't. Do they know that everyone on CDEC doesn't have buyback? They know that Batrider doesn't.
Yeah, they should.
They know that Dusa doesn't.
I think they're waiting the creep wave.
They should keep on going for sure.
I think the Morph is going to go in Satanic up the Ancients, and then he's going to go bottom. But oh, never mind. He's not going to.
He can Satanic the creeps. It'll take us like 3 rounds.
At this point, the IO actually heals him enough, so he doesn't need it.
This is megas.
Dusa's up in 10.
That's the last round. Picks up a Demon Edge. It's Rapier or bust at this point, but the Rapier's not even going to be.
Well, I said over 80, and the commentator curse might still be real. Waving and dodging away from that Earthshaker stun. Good pick off here by XingQ. And now it's time for Throne. TongFu with the Hex initiation onto the Ember Spirit. He has buyback, but if the second life goes the way of his first, it ain't going to be worth a whole lot. BKB's popped out. This is good damage done by Maybe. But remember, they have a Morphling buyback. They have a lot of buybacks, 4 in fact, and they'll bring down Maybe. Almost, not quite. They finish the job. And that's the end of the Dusa. It's the end of CDEC. And TongFu, they're going to be forcing the
Rampage. A sigh of relief from Rave.
Oh my. Double tie break. These teams will sleep it off. They'll go right back into BO1s.
Hey LD, I hear you like tiebreakers, Kappa.
Well, Gods, you said you really were rooting for Rave, so you'd be happy to solo cast them tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. Pinoy Dota solo casting, that takes me back like 4 or 5 years. Back when I was a young whippersnapper casting my first Dota games.
Can you imagine what it feels like for this, like all these teams right now, especially for TongFu? It's got to be a weird feeling that you fought so extremely hard and you won